Guys will be legends in their own country, but also in the international basketball world forever.
Are you not entertained?
I'm not supposed to be cheering, but this is X Series. I can do whatever I want.
It all comes down to tonight. Don't miss the biggest night in MMA. PFL is more than a fight.
Catching up on any NFL game is easier than ever before.
Looking to the end zone for the win! Oh my gosh, one of the great games you'll ever see.
It's their time. A night to remember.
The following program is recommended for those 16 and over, as it contains sporting violence, possible bad language, and flashing imagery.
Here's the moment the world has been waiting for.
The judges are ready. The fighters are ready. The boxing world is ready.
The fight starts now!
How do you like it? On the show. So aggressive, so focused.
It all comes down to this. The corner knockdown. Still the undisputed champion of the world.
Fight Night, only on DAZN.
Welcome to Manchester and the Co-op Live, Europe's largest maximum capacity indoor arena, which tonight hosts professional boxing for the very first time. At 7 p.m. we're live on DAZN, but now it's time for Before the Bell, featuring some of the Northwest's top prospects. 3 young fighters put their unbeaten records on the line as popular Scousers Joe McGraw and Stephen Clark make their way across the M62 from Liverpool. Manchester's very own William Crollett closes the show, but we start with Lancashire's Emily Whitworth making her eagerly awaited pro debut. Alongside me for all of the action is Barry Jones, but without further ado, let's get straight on with our first fight of the night. So it's over to the unmistakable tones of Mr. David Diamante. Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the Co-op Live here in Manchester, England. We are live on DAZN for a big night of world-class professional boxing, and it's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We're sponsored tonight by Betfred, Stagefront, Everlast, Forged Irish Stout, Apu.com, Riyadh Season, and Drip. All of tonight's bouts are sanctioned under the auspices of the British Boxing Board of Control. The steward in charge is Sue Potts. Introducing your third person in the ring at the sound of the bell from Doncaster, A-star referee, Mr. Michael Alexander. And now, ladies and gentlemen, before we begin, I just want to say this is the very first boxing match to ever take place in the Co-op Live. So without further ado, here we go. 4 rounds of boxing scheduled in the bantamweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, she wears the black with the white trim. She scaled 7 stone, 12 pounds, 14 ounces. Professional record, 1 victory, 2 defeats. Fighting out of Oika, Hungary, please welcome Sarah Orzagi. and her opponent across the ring fighting out of the blue corner. She wears black with silver trim. She scaled 8 stone, 5 pounds, 9 ounces. Tonight, she makes her much anticipated professional debut. Here is the European gold medalist, the 5-time national champion, the Team GB amateur standout, fighting out of Haywood, Lancashire, Emily Whitworth. Whitworth.
Right, you both know the rules, so let's just have a good, clean fight, okay? Most of all, remember to defend yourselves at all times, all right? Touch gloves.
The big night for Emily Whitworth. But there's a lot of big talk around her, not least from her trainer, Kieran Farrell. Can she live up to the hype tonight?
Yeah, and as we say about all people having their debuts, however much of an experienced amateur you are, it's just to take your time, which she hasn't done. But it's just about not rushing your work. Being an aggressive fighter, which Whitworth obviously is, and the clips we've seen of her would suggest that, it's still, just don't rush your work. You know, remember how good you are technically, and go through the stages, go behind everything behind your jab, and work off that.
Well, she said in the build-up, expect some fireworks, and she's come out firing right from the first bell, but certainly a bit of excitement. She's putting plenty into this opening round, that's for sure.
Yeah, and good reactions there as well there from Whitworth. Nice wide stance she has as well, but just seen Ozagi just drop that right hand and throw a left hook over the top.
Got caught with the left hand as well, good shot from Whitworth.
Just a little bit loose defensively here, Ozagi, and Whitworth just teeing off with those crunching left hooks, right hands over the top. And a nice relaxed start here for her. Oh, good shot.
Great work this from Whitworth, and showing that amateur background that she has, a European gold medalist, a 5-time national champion as well.
You can tell when someone's a top-class amateur because their judgment of distance is always fantastic. And you have it here with Whitworth. Just slides out of distance sometimes with a hook just to make Ozagi fall short if she does want to throw a punch back, but always close enough to step in with the punches and get leverage and purchase on every shot.
Solid stuff from Whitworth, and trying to leave a lasting impression on the round as well, but she'll be happy with the first couple of minutes she's put in the professional ranks.
You found it then?
Of course I did. Good boy.
Ten seconds, callers.
Well, a good opening round for Emily Whitworth as she takes the final instructions from Kieran Farrell. And what will you be saying in there, Barry? It's been good so far.
I think he'll be well happy, that's for sure. It really will be. But I think knowing Kieran Farrell, we'll see him be more aggressive. You can look for the stoppage here. But I like the way every now and again when she just throws a 1-2 left hook, but she'll sort of slide back out with the left hook. She's getting a bit more leverage on the shot, but also keeps herself in a safe distance. That's a lovely right hand there again from Whitworth.
Starting to put them together, and although some of the shots in the first round were a little bit overexcited, now, as you say, Barry, she's starting to pick them, plant her feet, and look every bit the aggressor in this one.
Yeah, she's shown plenty of class here. Just don't neglect your jab. Sometimes you can. She hasn't fallen into that trap yet, but you can sometimes when you're finding an opponent easy to hit. You start the pot shot for all the big shots, but every now and again, just whap that jab in her face, remind her where she is, and also that sets up the leverage, and sometimes you can disguise a bigger shot behind that left hand.
Is there a stage where she starts to think about the spectacular stoppage, really kicking her pro career off in style and, as you say, neglect the basics?
Yeah, well, there's a worry that you do get a bit wild and look for the finish too quick, but I think she's really composed and calm, so I think all that amateur experience is flooding out of her right here. So she's, look, even there under a little bit of pressure, keeps those elbows tucked in tight, the hands are low, but when she went into defensive mode, the hands came up really quick. So showing plenty of quality here, Whitworth. It's a lot to like, isn't it?
Looking really comfortable, and she's had to bide her time as well. Was meant to be out on this card when it was originally scheduled for back in August. Kieran Farrell's been desperate to get her in there, but has been also keen to say we're in no rush with Emily Whitworth.
But this is women's boxing, so once you get the 6 fights, you're in title contention straight away, aren't you? And the way she, lovely shot.
Great way to end the first 2 rounds in the professional books for Emily Whitworth.
Can you feel it? The southern hemisphere rises. Thunderous velocity. Scorching power. International rivalries reignited. Feel the fire. The Autumn Nation Series. Every match live on TNT Sports.
Best moments from that second round, and Emily Whitworth putting together some really nice work and dominating Sarah Ozagi here.
Round 3.
Into the third round, scheduled for 4. So far, so good for Emily Whitworth. And although she will want to make a statement and maybe get rid of her Hungarian opponent, I suppose, Barry, the round's as important as anything, especially in the early stages of your career.
Win is first and foremost. Win impressively it goes second on the list. Don't pick up any injuries. All these things, you want to go through those, but winning is everything. But she's been really good. So, if the stoppage comes, and I think she can force it possibly, but I wouldn't be pushing for that. I think it's a really good, really mature display from her here. She's picking her shots really well, having everything her own way, showing a bit of class as well. Showing some lovely shot selection. That left hook she has is a really, really good weapon. I think she's been fantastic. I think it's a really good start to a pro debut, and I think it looks like an exciting career ahead. If everything stays the same as it has so far, of course.
Well, she's been out in Saudi Arabia with the Dubois camp recently, getting in some much-needed rounds. She's been sparring with Maisie Rose Courtney, amongst others. And that pedigree seems to be rubbing off here. Ozagi has tried to work the body a little bit in this round, but now starting to get picked off again. She took that stiff left right into the face, and she was cut above the left eye in her last fight, Ozagi.
She's game, Ozagi. She is, but I think now Whitworth has picked her off quite comfortably. She's trying to get a little bit too close to the target, Ozagi, but she lets her hands go. So getting that left hook from Whitworth never misses the target, and every time Ozagi looks to throw a combination, a bit wild with the shots, and she gets clipped every time.
Yeah, she's game, Ozagi, but she's walking on to plenty here, and Whitworth finishing the third round strongly as well. The face of Ozagi reddening up. She's taken plenty of punishment across the first 6 minutes of this fight. And Emily Whitworth well ahead and looking pretty comfortable as she takes a seat and for a word or two with Kieran Farrell. Well, here we are, the wonderful Co-op Live here in Manchester, Europe's newest arena, and it's got a lot to live up to the other venue in Manchester, of course, Barry, the AO Arena as it's now called, but this could be something pretty special for Manchester boxing.
It can be, but more importantly, I was getting really excited there because you said the wonderful. I thought you were going to say Barry Jones, and you skipped right over that. It's too late now. I said backhanded compliment, but yeah, it's a fantastic venue. When it fills up later on, it'll be. I think this is because it's steep as well. I think it'll be very, very atmospheric.
Well, as I say, it's got a lot to live up to if it's to match its predecessor in this famous sporting city. This the very first fight to be staged in it. Emily Whitworth looking great in her professional debut. Now can she close the show in this fourth and final round?
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think she has looked great, and more importantly, there's good structure to her work as well. You see it there, going up and down the levels, but dipping her legs, not just punching though. She dips the knees to get the angle of the shot correct, and the feet in and out with the feet. See there, just skipping back, making Ozagi just fall a little bit short with her work. But her weapon, the best weapon so far, I think she'll probably agree, is her left hook. It's a whipping shot, it's a powerful shot, and it's accurate.
Ozagi nearly caught with one again there. As you say, Whitworth moving so well. Has looked so at ease. Hasn't looked like a professional debut, hasn't it? She came out a little bit excited in the first round, but after that has settled into this one wonderfully. Oh, that was a great right hand. Ozagi never saw that coming.
Well, again.
Looking for the statement finish. Catches Ozagi again, who's in real survival mode here, but she's got a minute left to survive. Whitworth just needs to relax now and pick her moment. She's got Ozagi where she wants her.
Oh, game is Ozagi there, though. Literally out on her feet with catching that big left hook, and her defence was offence. She just threw to get herself out of trouble.
Yeah, she's been all action, the Hungarian. And that's given Whitworth a chance as well. Just in danger of taking the knee there, more out of exhaustion than anything else.
Usually at times like this, I say, don't smother your work. But she hasn't, Whitworth. She's kept that range so she can punch correct, punch clean.
Ozagi desperate to tie it up and not allow Whitworth any room to land something in the last few minutes or seconds. Looks as though Ozagi will see the bell just, but that is as impressive as they come. Emily Whitworth in her professional debut just about dominates every single round and nearly gets rid of her opponent in the last. She'll be happy. Kieran Farrell will be pretty happy too, Barry.
Oh, they will. I think that was a flawless debut. That was a flawless display. I thought that was fantastic. She showed a bit of everything there. I think she showed skill, a little bit of flash, not overly flash, but a little bit of flash. So with her hands though, and slipping slightly with the shoulders. But more importantly, plenty of power, I thought. And the left hook was. I praised that left hook from round one, but in that last round, she caught Ozagi with a lovely left hook. I know she stayed up from it. I'll never know. She just had to fire herself out the trouble there, Ozagi. But Whitworth, even under that, kept her composure, just pivoted on the front foot, got Ozagi back with her back to the rope and worked away again. I thought that was a fantastic debut. And it only gets better from here. Let's not forget that. Only gets better. This is a real star here we have.
Well, let's make it official then. It's over to our MC again, David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 rounds of action here at the Co-op Live, we go to referee Michael Alexander's scorecard. It reads 40-36 for your winner, Emily Whitworth.
No surprise, a shutout for Whitworth. Underway and up and away in the pro ranks. Just about flawless, Barry. That was as impressive as they come.
That's one of the best debuts I've seen. It's not the best, I'm not going to get carried away, but it's one of the best. I think just the way she was composed throughout. She came out fast in the first round, but even then, wasn't untidy, wasn't massively rushing her work. She just wanted to stamp her authority. But then from there on in, she picked the punches well. Again, she was adjusting her feet, so she hit the target clean every time. I thought she was fantastic. It's a really good debut, that was.
Well, Whitworth has benefited from her time out in Saudi Arabia, and DAZN will be back out in Riyadh soon for Latino Night. Well, Latino night should be something special, and we've got something pretty special still to come tonight. 3 fights on before the bell, of course, still to come. But here's what we've got later on. We start with exciting prospect Janae Bostan taking on Marco Sumariva. Pat McCormack looks to put 15 months of frustration behind him when he steps in against tough Argentinian William Andres Halera. Then it's a rematch with Needle as James Flint and Campbell Hatton run it back. Another son of a famous Manchester fighter is next up as Michael Gomez Jr. faces Reece Bellotti for the British and Commonwealth Super Featherweight titles. And our main event is a cracker as Jack Catterall and Regis Prograis stand on business. Well, we are ready for our second fight of the night on before the bell, so it's back over to David Diamante.
Manchester, the action continues from the Co-op Live with an 8-round featherweight attraction set to make his ring walk, Lewis Stud Morris.
Lewis Morris then, the man from West Bromwich, stepping into the Co-op Live and meaning business as well. 8-2 and looking to get back to winning ways after a controversial defeat to Ryan Griffiths last time out in his Midlands area title. This, the biggest moment of his career thus far.
And now entering the arena, please welcome the undefeated Scouser, Joe McGrail.
Another of the exciting crop of young fighters coming out of the Matchroom stable. Joe McGrail looking to go 11-0 tonight. His younger brother has a big fight coming up in Riyadh, but tonight it's Joe's big night in Manchester, looking to make a statement.
Ladies and gentlemen, our Before the Bell action continues here from the Co-op Live in Manchester with an 8-round featherweight attraction. And it's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We're sponsored tonight by Betfred, Stagefront, Everlast, Forged Irish Stout, Apu.com, Riyadh Season, and Drip. Introducing your third man in the ring at the sound of the bell from Fleetwood, A-star referee, Mr. Steve Gray. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 8 rounds of boxing scheduled in the featherweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, he wears white with pink and silver. He scaled 9 stone, 2 pounds, 12 ounces. Professional record, 8 victories against 2 defeats. He has 1 win coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Walsall, please welcome Lewis Stud Morris. And his opponent across the ring fighting out of the blue corner. He wears dark navy and maroon trim. He scaled 9 stone, 1 pound, 12 ounces. Professional record perfect, 10 fights, 10 victories with 5 wins coming by way of knockout. Fighting out of Liverpool, Joe McGrail.
Okay, boys, have a cold break. Take 1 step back. Don't deliberately throw punches to the back of the head and protect yourselves at all times. Touch gloves.
I'll admit, Barry, my knowledge of West Midlands geography isn't the best, and if I did mention he was from West Bromwich, it's from Walsall, and he's a huge Wolves fan as well, Lewis Morris, so I'm going to keep my head down if he comes past me on the way out. But he's got a big job on his hand here, hasn't he, against Joe McGrail, who is one of the shining lights of British boxing.
Yeah, he's up against it, but he's a good boxer, though, is Lewis Morris, and he can be aggressive as well, so he can maybe try and cause McGrail some problems here, but he's got to be careful he doesn't walk onto a shot. McGrail's very accurate, very precise, and carries a bit of power as well. Nice little feint there from McGrail.
Yeah, good test this for McGrail. Morris is no mug at all. He's had a frustrating time since losing that Midlands area title fight against Ryan Griffiths, has been desperate to get back in, and he's really confident as well. Saw a couple of interviews with him during the week. He feels he can get Joe McGrail out of there in this one.
But he's got fast hands, and again, you know, lovely little left hook he has, you know, to the body as well. So if he can get that off, with McGrail, you know, his feet are so good. You know, that's a McGrail trait, isn't it? His feet are so good. It's just getting him in to hold his feet long enough to get your attributes into play.
Morris trying to bring that right hand over the top, but as you say, Barry, McGrail's footwork's so good. He was out of there before he was even in range to be in any danger.
Yeah, I think he skips out too much, McGrail, actually. I think, you know, sometimes you can invite trouble, so when he skips out, it's lovely, and his feet are, you know, really fast. But you don't want to go really 2 steps back and then pivot left or right off that. Good work there from McGrail. Nice little 1-2.
That time did get in and out, and Morris on the back foot now as McGrail tries to make his presence felt in there.
It's lovely work, especially the feet there from McGrail. Even though it was a good jab, in and out with the feet, just not allowing Morris just to time him coming in. Again, those little fidgety movements always make you second guess what's going on.
Scored with ease with that stiff jab right through the defences, as you say, just looking for that angle, bobbing and weaving again. He finds a home for that jab.
But even that jab was different from the last one because he just dipped his knees a bit. So it's the same shot, but from a different angle. And again, it's all about just dipping your legs, just changing a little level of your body. There's that left over the body though there from Morris we were talking about earlier. And a good jab from him as well.
Good counter shots here from Morris. Has had to just take a little bit from McGrail, but now starting to feel a bit more comfortable about things in this opening round. And a right hook there, which just grazed the whiskers of McGrail. Needs to be careful.
Good response from McGrail there, right hand, left hook to the body. Morris just switching stance here.
Good exchange to win this first round as both men try and leave the judges with something to think about. Final few seconds, McGrail working his way into it, but Morris is going to be trouble in this one. Could be brewing up.
Hello, darlings. Aunt Helga. Futuristic scooters, old school website. Relax, web upgrades, I own them. Better design, e-commerce and smart AI. Now you're fit for the future. I scoot off now. Your digital partner, Ionos.
Just a selection of some of McGrail's work in that first round, but that was that left he just got tagged with to the body, Barry. But all in all, how would you see that first round going? Who in favour of?
Yeah, no, I think it was the first good round there from McGrail because he set the pace out. He landed with the better shots and you know, the more work as well. But again, it was just a reminder for Morris, and that's clever. Even though he didn't win any exchange, I didn't think. Just landing with a shot now and again, just reminding McGrail, can't get too greedy with your work.
Well, McGrail has won 3 of his last 4 by stoppage and 2 inside a round. Doesn't usually mess around, and Morris will be wary of that.
Good shot. Again, just that little feint before he let those shots go there from McGrail. That makes the difference.
When he starts to go through the gears, that's when he looks impressive.
That's good there from Morris. Again, it doesn't land, but it just gives him a little bit of space. And it makes McGrail just reset.
Then gets caught by McGrail, and then again, that whipping left hand of McGrail.
He felt that as well there, didn't he, Morris? Regrouped really well. Just on the temple, that shot.
Yeah, a little bit on the retreat now. This is where McGrail tends to warm up.
Well, he's just waiting too long, Morris. I understand why, because he knows if he throws a lazy shot, he's going to get countered. But if you don't throw, you're just inviting trouble on you. And someone like McGrail is going to walk right up, feint and throw, and put you in trouble.
And the fact that McGrail has started to score stoppages with regularity, is it deceptive power that he's got?
Well, he's a clean puncher, isn't he? And also because he's always a forward-moving target as well. There, like that. He's getting the proper purchase into the punches. Just got to believe in that left hand a little bit more, Morris.
A little bit of frustration as well that he isn't being able to score in this round as he did with a couple of good moments in the first. McGrail starting to perhaps work Morris out, whips a couple into the body as well, starting to mix it up.
Oh, good work again there from McGrail. Rather than take that little skip out, he just dipped the legs, rolled underneath, come back with that left hook to the body. Really good display of pressure fighting here from McGrail. Again, taking his time, but just not allowing any space here for Morris.
Working in behind Morris as well. As you say, he's starting to get a little bit wary about what's coming back. Again, that right hand comes through the defences that are starting to drop a little bit from Morris.
I don't think he's been really hurt yet. He's well aware that if he misses, he's going to be countered. So he's just waiting too long. And McGrail's just allowed to let his hands go with too much regularity here.
Keeping that right hand high at times as well, Morris. He was really rocked by that left hook in the corner. McGrail looking for a way in the final couple of seconds of the second round. And that was a great shot from McGrail. Knocked down in the final moments of the second. It's been coming. That left has been so dangerous. And Morris makes it just.
Hi, Jack. Box him up. Last night, Red One was abducted.
Santa Claus.
You're gonna help us find him.
Come on, let's go.
How did...
I adjusted it to reality. No more questions. Now get in. Let's save Christmas.
We got snowmen!
Well, it was nice to meet you, Cal. Good luck with everything.
Red One, in cinemas November 6.
10 seconds, corners.
Well, Joe McGrail, right at the end of that second round, scores the first knockdown of the fight, Barry.
Seconds out.
And I think Lewis Morris pretty relieved that it was in the final few seconds of the round.
Yeah, Morris went southpaw. He's done it a few times already, but he went southpaw then, and then when McGrail threw a left hook, didn't see the feet, but he takes a step over with it as well, so he gets real leverage on the shot. It's a really good punch. I gotta say though, he took it well, Morris, because he got knocked down. It was a clean shot, and he had to take the brunt of it. But he got up and he was clear-headed. But Morris got to throw in comment. You got to punch straight and in threes and fours to try and push McGrail back. If he throws in single shots, he's going to get countered and countered with correct, accurate and heavy shots. Again, see there, he threw that left jab a little bit too slow, a little bit too low, and McGrail just throws that right hand over the top.
Yeah, it would have been interesting if the knockdown had come earlier. And McGrail with those 3 stoppages in his last 4 in the first round, the second round, the first round. So he doesn't tend to be in there for long. Was by his own accounts, though, disappointing last time he fought. That one against Ryan Walker, where he rather huffed and puffed his way to a points decision. Looked a lot cleaner tonight, though, Barry.
Yeah, he's very accurate tonight, isn't he? Well, he knows. See, sometimes when you know you're up against a guy who can give you trouble, potentially on paper, which Lewis Morris certainly was that, it makes you just be a little bit sharp, a little more aware. It's lovely bit of work. Really good work here from McGrail.
Got a superb judgment of distance, hasn't he? And now firing away, rat-a-tat-tat on Morris, who takes another one to the body, claiming that that one was low, but
it was on the belt line, which is, depending on whether the referee says it's correct or not, can be an illegal or a legal blow. It's not good on that rabbit hole.
Might be happy to take that slight breather there. McGrail again just takes that little step back and leaves Morris punching at thin air.
Just trying to force Morris to throw here, isn't he, so he can counter. Oh, lovely shot, but a good response there from Morris. It's a good right hand from McGrail, but he had to take a right hand off Morris as well there.
Well, he would have known what he was in for here, Lewis Morris.
Again, good work.
Well, having survived that knockdown, this has been a decent response, hasn't it?
Yeah, again, he's not winning the round, but I think he's showing a bit of resolve here. He's trying to fire back. And then a low punch yourself there, Morris.
Morris has admitted himself that he is a slow starter. He has to warm into a fight. I don't think he was going to be allowed to do that tonight.
He's working the body well, isn't he, McGrail?
And those shots will be felt later in the fight by Morris, that's for sure.
Good work again, punching in threes, not single shots there for Morris. Makes the difference.
Trying to end this third round strongly, Lewis Morris. Well, I mentioned his last fight, Joe McGrail against Ryan Walker. He himself said he was terrible. Said he didn't let his hands go and that he was sluggish. Well, he's let his hands go tonight, Barry, and he's been far from sluggish.
Oh, he's been fantastic, hasn't he? He really has. I think he struggled a little bit in that last round. I think he won the round, but I think for the second half of the round, he was waiting too long to let his hands go, and that just gave Morris a little bit more confidence to throw his punches out. So I think it's very important though in this round. McGrail puts it right back on Morris, puts him back in his place, if you will, and continues that dominance that he had certainly in the first two rounds. And for Morris, he's now to build on that finish of that last round. He'll come out, try and be a bit busier, throw in combinations, in flurries of shots if you can, and just try and settle McGrail, try and get him to lose his shape.
Seconds out.
Co-op Live starting to fill here on Before the Bell, ahead of the main action at 7. Headlined, of course, by Jack Catterall against Regis Prograis. But now it's Joe McGrail and Lewis Morris. 4th of 8 scheduled. McGrail has scored a knockdown in the second, has looked reasonably comfortable, but Lewis Morris has shown signs that he is very much still alive and that McGrail still has something to be concerned about.
Well, I say it all the time about, especially when you get the high-level boxing, about keeping your concentration so important. It's impossible to concentrate for 3 minutes of every round, and certainly for 3 minutes every round of an 8-round fight or a 10 or 12. It's impossible, so you have to try and manage your mental part of the game. But again, those lapses of concentration is when your opponent needs to jump on you. And that's someone like McGrail, who's been an offensive fighter, so he's always sort of in the pocket, if you will. That keeping that concentration is very important for him.
McGrail are trying to be the aggressor here and backing Morris up here. Gets out of trouble well, though, the man from Walsall. Nice uppercut in there from Morris, but then took one on the counter, and that's what McGrail does so well.
Clash of heads as well, I thought, yeah, from McGrail and Morris. But yeah, he's fighting back here, Morris. That's good, and that's just showing McGrail that he can't throw single shots anymore.
Will McGrail enjoy this more, that someone has come to attack, though? They're not going to just sit in and try and get the decision.
Well, theoretically, there's more gaps appear, so you can do better work, but also, you know, people are trying to punch you in the face. That's never a good thing. What McGrail needs to do now, what was working in the first 2 rounds, he's not working as comfortable as it was, is start throwing the 2 shots and doing what his brother does. Skip around the target really quick, get a different angle for the 3rd shot or the 2nd phase of attack. And again, that's a concentration, using your brain and trying to adapt to different situations. For Morris here, it's just, again, I don't think he's winning the round, but he's just been able to fire back under pressure like he wasn't being able to in the first 2 rounds.
Not the volume from Morris, he's getting through a few, but McGrail is starting to stalk around, trying to find a way in for those clean, crisp shots to make their mark.
Remember, go back to those feints here now, McGrail. Trying to coax Morris on to let his hands go, but he's not going to throw until he's ready.
And he was ready there. Just lets Morris open up. Again, that one just a little bit low. And gets a warning through it. Perhaps a little bit of frustration there from Joe McGrail. Well, again, a solid, if not spectacular round. What will they be saying in the corner of McGrail now, Paul Stevenson and the team?
Well, what he'll be is extremely calm, because he always is, Paul. But I think he should be saying, you know, just start using that boxer mirror a bit now. You're walking him down, but you stop fainting. And also, when you throw shots, try a different angle of attack. That's all you've got to say. Boxing is all angles. That's the truth of it. So you're going straight at him now. He's figured that out, and he's fighting back when you throw a shot. So you've got to adapt. And that's what. And at this stage of the fight, he's adapting because at the minute Morris is relatively comfortable with the pressure. Even if he is coming second best, he's coping with it and he's firing back, as we see here.
10 seconds,
so that's when McGrail, after those 2 shots, he's got to get around the target. Different attack, different route. He's either safe when he can throw, or he makes you turn and walk onto a shot. Things I never did. I'm making this up as I go along.
Well, Joe McGrail certainly not making it up as he goes along, Barry.
Let's bear in mind, arguably, McGrail has the best sparring for his weight in the country by a million miles, maybe the world. To be honest, the sparring he has, his brother, Nick Ball, that's just 2 of them, by the way. The gym for around his weight class, what a place to learn your trade.
And apparently he'd taken a bit of time off from sparring his brother, and it's only recently that they've started to get in there again and start going at each other. Brother, of course, on a big Riyadh card coming up against Dennis McCann. Peter McGrail going in on that December 21st Usyk versus Fury 2 undercard. DAZN will be there, of course. As will Joe McGrail, of course. He'll be watching from ringside, and his brother's here tonight looking on, and perhaps, as you said, Barry, maybe eager that his brother just moves that little bit more and just makes those angles that could take Lewis out here.
Yeah, he's boxing fine. I think he'll be overcritical. He's winning the fight. But you just want to see that little bit of adaptation now, that's all. I think, he's still being aggressive, still being a bully, still having the better of the exchanges for the most part, not always, but mainly. It's a good work, nice fast hands there.
That last fight will be playing on his mind, though. Is it difficult when you've had a disappointing outing? You want to come out and make a statement and show that was a one-off?
Yes, it is, but not now, not at this stage of the fight. Or not, as soon as the bell goes, you forget about that. But I mean, you have a below-par performance, or you want to make it better the second time round, but it won't affect your performance now. I mean, a good shot.
Had to wake McGrail up there. The uppercut came through and scored well, and McGrail goes back to the body, and then one upstairs as well. That's angered him a bit, taking that one, McGrail.
Yeah, but you need things like that. You need things not to work every time. You need to get caught when you're being a bit lazy, or again, when you're not concentrating. I said about that concentration is impossible for 3 minutes of every round. So when you switch off, someone hits you, makes you pay for it. You should have to rally back and fire back. So you want to see these things as you go through this is a step up for him, of course. So you want to see how he copes with it, and he's been really good so far tonight. And Lewis Morris has shown that he's not a bad fighter himself, to be fair, under pressure.
Now, a big night for Lewis Morris. Always a big night when a regional fighter can get on a matchroom card.
It's good for Morris. He just caught McGrail with a body shot. I wonder if he thinks he's hurt him a little bit. I didn't see it. It was a good shot.
Yeah, McGrail's right hand just dropped down a little bit, feeling around that rib cage. Well, Morris himself has said he is a slow starter. It takes a while to work out his opponent. And as this one's gone on, he's got better and better and better. As you said, Barry, he's probably not winning the rounds, but he's looking better as every round goes on.
Yeah, he is. McGrail's doing all the work, mainly, to be honest. I just got to say, I know we're in McGrail's corner here, but I just looked over to Morris's corner, and for the second round now, he's lifted up his left hand to his trainer. I don't know what they're saying, but I think there might be some sort of damage to that left hand. Maybe that's why he's not throwing the shots, he's not throwing the combination like he did the round previous.
Oh, the wonderful Co-op Live here in Manchester. The setting for Jack Catterall against Regis Prograis. That is tonight's main event. The main card starts at 7 on DAZN.
Round 6.
The home of boxing.
Is that the venue outside?
That is the venue
fantastic,
outside.
Isn't it?
It's not bad, is it, Barry?
When the thing put up later on, can anyone give me a lift?
we could try that. Maybe we could put our image outside there as well. That would certainly scare off any unwanted visitors. Morris trying to start this 6th round with a couple of jabs and trying to show that that left-hand barrier is perhaps in working order.
He's throwing it, but again, it might be nothing, but this is the second time in a row now in between the rounds. He's lifted up the left hand and said something to his trainer.
Yeah, he was in deep conversation with Richie Carter. But it would take more than that to pull him out of this one. As I said at the end of the last round, such a big opportunity when a fighter gets onto a matchroom card, but McGrail is taking advantage of the opportunity now.
Yeah, but again, with all of McGrail's ability, again, something about skipping back, sometimes he goes too far back. That was his opportunity there to pivot round the target rather than take a step back and just keep Morris in that corner. And also, it opens up a whole new angle of attack for you, especially with that left hook to the body, which is the shot he's looking to land with.
And scored the knockdown with the left hook earlier in the fight as well. So when he does adapt the angles, he's got joy.
Yeah, I don't think Morris is going to switch to southpaw though. He turned to southpaw that time, like he had a couple of times previous. I think he got caught out, and that might just take that off the table for him now.
It was a curious move, that, wasn't it? Both men trying to exchange there.
It's been a good competitive fight, hasn't it? I think, McGrail's no winning, and winning clear, I would say, on the scorecards, but Morris has made it competitive in every round.
There's always going to be a test. And McGrail going up the levels. I think this is scheduled to be his last 8-rounder. Should be a 10 next time he comes out.
Lovely jab there from McGrail. Again, just dip the legs, got a different angle with the shot. Just knocking the head back there to Morris.
When he does make those slight adjustments in his movement, McGrail, he opens it up and he more than often does find the target. And I suppose because you know how good he is, you want to see a little bit more, even though he's doing more than enough.
Yeah, and also he's got a guy who's fighting back. And as the round's gone on, fighting back more often than he was previously in the previous round. So he's well aware something's coming back. But again, I go back to this, I repeat myself consistently, but again, using your feet to get a different angle will help you maintain that pressure.
Oh, good left hand there from Lewis Morris. Once again, ends the round pretty well.
It's a lovely body shot there from McGrail there. Just, I think Morris backing up there and trying to work him over, but as always, under pressure, Morris looking to fire back, just keep himself safe, forcing McGrail to reset. But again, it's McGrail pushing the pace, trying to force Morris on the back foot. And good fight, it's been a good fight to watch so far.
And that first replay, just an illustration of how quickly McGrail gets himself out of any danger. But as you said a couple of times, Barry, could he afford to stay in close more often in exchange?
Yeah, well, I think you want that little step or half a step back, but again, you just going back in straight lines just allows your opponent a way out. That's all it is. Yeah, just takes the pressure off a little bit.
Well, this only the 11th pro outing for Joe McGrail. An unblemished record so far, 10-0. 5 inside the distance, looking to chalk up number 11 tonight. Though we may get a 6th stock of Johnny's cards as well after that second round, but Lewis Morris has recovered well after that knockdown.
Yeah, and if he does get the win here, McGrail, and it's looking likely, this will be a really good win for him. I think he's a good kid here in Morris. And it's the right fight at the right time as well, I think. The fight where you're going to be pushed, but you're going to have to show a little bit about yourself, and it hasn't been a war of attrition or anything, but he's had to think more than he's had to in the past, or certainly what I've seen of him, and he's coped with it quite well. And more importantly, he's forced to pace in every round, and I think that's for a potential championship fighter, they're the sort of attributes you want to see.
Good right hand as well there from McGrail. And chances are few and far between at the moment. It's getting more and more difficult for the domestic fighters to get on cards because of all the big Riyadh season cards. We have had a recent dearth of domestic action, although we've got another cracker coming up shortly with Galal Lafai and Sonny Edwards, of course. Oh, that was decent from Morris.
Again, it's all about the setup there. He sort of threw a looping left hook, but it was all about being able to land that right hand on the middle there for Morris.
Yeah, he's not afraid to give away a few to land one, is he, Morris? And he's had his moments in this fight.
Again, it shows that when he throws his punches in combinations, in blusters, in clusters, he has a bit of success here, Morris. That's better from McGrail, just keeping that front foot in the centre of his stance, not allowing Morris an escape route.
Morris trying to whip one to the body, but McGrail got out of harm's way.
Yeah, just a little bit slower. It was the right idea there for Morris. She's just a little bit labelled with the shot. And oh, good shot there from McGrail. Good jab, and Morris just slips the right hand and followed it.
Desperate to find a way in behind the attack of Morris. McGrail staying patient.
That's good head movement there, though, from McGrail. So gutsy, though, isn't he, Morris? Shot.
Again, McGrail lands one right to the body. And then that jab comes through as well. This is classy work from McGrail.
Oh, good left hook and right hand there from McGrail.
Lovely combination work from Joe McGrail.
The Morris fighting back here, though.
This is game stuff from the lad from Walsall, who is right in this one. Showing no signs of adversity from that second round knockdown. He's come back firing. That was a great right hand right on the chin. It got a nod of approval from McGrail.
Look at it's a flicking shot with the left hook, but he's not looking to land with that shot. He's just looking, all he's looking to do is take your right hand a little bit too high, which makes a gap appear between your right glove and your left glove. Just for that right hand right down the gap. It's a really, really clever little move there from Morris, and showing a little bit more than metal, a little bit of intelligence in his work as well. He's been a really good display from him, but he's still becoming second best. We have to be honest about that. And McGrail has been dominating most exchanges. But he's had to work, he's had to think, and that's, I think you want to see that. But for his development, this is the perfect fight for him.
Absolutely no question that Lewis Morris has had his odd moment in every single round just about, but as we go into the final round, it's Joe McGrail who has produced the more consistent work, and that's probably going to see him through here, barring anything incredible in this last round. But you wouldn't put it past Morris because he's shown he's got a bit of power, and stranger things have happened.
Well, ideally, he's going to try and catch McGrail coming forward with the shot, so you get his weight coming at you, and also if you push up that back leg, you get those two weights combined. And from McGrail now, it's just do what you're doing now, a little bit more, just a little bit more intensity, a little bit more smartness in your work.
Tries to counter in behind that uppercut from Morris, who just left himself a little bit open.
A good right hand there over the top there from McGrail. He's landed with a few of those tonight, just dipping the shoulders and just whipping over the top. There's a little feint with the feet before he let his hands go. Just gives him a little more space to produce better work here, McGrail.
Get out of the way of that left, but Morris is visibly just starting to feel the effects of this one, and it's always telling a fighter's face in the final round that it's Morris who's reddened up a lot more, and he's taking a couple of stiff shots here from McGrail as he starts to empty the tank in the final 90 seconds of the final round.
Good body shot there from McGrail as well. I got to give Morris credit. Morris has kept his shape throughout the fight, so even when he's getting caught like there, the gloves maybe just taking a little bit of sting off the punch, even though they are landing.
And he's not got ragged, has he? He hasn't been forced into a kind of firefight in the centre of the ring. He's kept his head.
Well, he's well aware he doesn't want to throw Wentworth so low again.
That was pretty low, if there was any doubt about the earlier ones. That one was down near the kneecaps. Slight pause then ahead of the final minute. And what will McGrail take from this one so far, Barry?
I think he won't be that pleased, but he should be pleased. I think he's been a really good display, but I don't think he'll be that pleased. I think, you know, he's done the right things. Not everything's worked for him. I think Paul in the corner will be pleased, but they got things that they can show that worked, and also this didn't work. And if you would have done this, how more effective would you have been? But you can't factor in Morris's commitment. Look at this now. Under pressure, he's firing back.
He's leaving everything out there, Morris, that's for sure.
Left hook there for Morris.
And his corner are calling him forward as well. I think they fancy this. But he's certainly left an impression on this Manchester crowd, and no doubt they're watching Eddie Hearn as well, who may just fancy seeing him back on a matchroom card pretty soon.
Good body shot there from McGrail. Took it well though, Morris, but it's a lovely shot.
And just the kind of shot that McGrail will want to end the fight with as well, as he sees this one through. Another 8 rounds in the professional banks for Joe McGrail. It should be victory, not all being on his own terms. He's been his own harshest critic in the past, but this was a lot better than that showing against Ryan Walker, that's for sure.
Yeah, he was sharp and accurate. McGrail came out in the early rounds with some really good work, really pushing the pressure there on Lewis Morris, but then after 2 rounds there, Morris all of a sudden started firing back under pressure, and you know, it looked like he was going to make McGrail work for it, and he did. He made McGrail pretty much work for everything every success that he had, and I thought he was fantastic tonight, Morris, but not enough to win most of the rounds, not enough to win the fight on my card, I would say, but I'm not the guy scoring the fight. But certainly I thought it was a really good fight, a really good learning fight there for McGrail. I think we want to see Lewis Morris again, I think, against anybody, because, you know, he's shown plenty of grit, skill, determination, and for Joe McGrail, I think that was this perfect fight for his development moving on.
Well, let's get the official scorecards then. It's over to David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 8 rounds of action at the Co-op Live here in Manchester, we go to referee Steve Gray's scorecard. It reads 79-72 for your winner hit by your winner, and he's still undefeated, Joe McGrail.
No surprises, Joe McGrail gets it. He moves to 11-0. That was a tough old night's work, but a very good night's work, Barry.
Yeah, no, it was. These are the fights that formulas of fighter, these fights where, you know, you're doing stuff that worked in the gym, and they did work, but they didn't have the desired effect. So, you know, and especially after the first 2 rounds, when you honestly thought that I'm not sure Morris is going to take much more of this, because, you know, he's inviting the pressure on, and maybe he's going to falter. Then he fired back, and I think that McGrail needed that. So I thought McGrail was fantastic tonight, really was.
Well, big fights to come for Joe McGrail, and some big fights to come on DAZN. None bigger than when Jaron Boots Ennis returns to action in Philadelphia on November 9th. That one also features Bam Rodriguez. There's Latino Night on November 16th, and then Usyk Fury 2 reignited December 21st. And remember, you can keep up to date with the entire schedule on platform now. Simply scroll through, set reminders for the live action coming your way, but as ever, check those local restrictions for availability. So we are just about ready for our third clash of the night on Before the Bell. So it's back to David Diamante.
Our next contest, ladies and gentlemen, 6-round super welterweights, set to make his ring walk, Lorenzo Grasso.
Lorenzo Grasso, the man with Italian heritage, fighting out of Harrow, London, and looking to make a statement tonight after a disappointing round 2 KO loss against Tyrone King last time out. A fight in which he'd scored a knockdown and then got caught with a shot from absolutely nowhere. He's had to wait and bide his time, a year out of the ring, but now he gets his chance to get his career back on track. And what a setting to do it. A huge night for Lorenzo Grasso.
And now entering the arena, William Crawler.
in the city that his brother made his own, the $1 million crawler. Had them dancing in the aisles of the Manchester Arena a few times. Now his little brother kicks things off in the newest arena in this famous fighting city. William Crawler makes his ring walk at the AO Arena. An exciting, exuberant fighter with 4 KOs in his 5 outings. Now it's fight number 6 in his hometown. And again, a man on a mission.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are set to go with our next bout of the evening. 6 rounds in the super welterweight division, and it's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We're sponsored by Betfred, Stagefront, Everlast, Apu.com, Riyadh Season, Ford's Irish Stout, and Drip. Introducing your third man in the ring at the sound of the bell from Doncaster, A-star referee, Mr. Michael Alexander. And now, ladies and gentlemen, 6 rounds of boxing scheduled in the super welterweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, he wears white with green and gold trim. He's scaled 11 stone, 1 pound, 11 ounces. Professional record, 6 victories against 2 defeats. He has 1 win coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Harrow. Please welcome Lorenzo Grasso. And his opponent across the ring fighting out of the blue corner. He wears white, black, and pink. He scaled 11 stone, 1 pound, 12 ounces. Professional record, perfect, 5-0, 4 knockouts. Fighting out of Manchester, England, William Crawler.
Well, as you both know the rules, so let's just have a good, clean fight, okay? Most of all, remember to defend yourselves at all times, all right? Just gloves.
Well, don't go and put the kettle on during this one, because William Crawler is on a devastating KO streak, 4 in a row. 3 of those inside the first round. 1 only took him 2 rounds. Can he make it as quick a work tonight against a man looking to come back from a devastating KO of his own?
Yeah, the thing with Grasso is he has a really good right hand himself, so he'll fancy he can hurt anybody, but that's what got him in trouble in his last fight, actually. He hurt the guy, put him down, and then when he walked for the finish, he walked onto a shot, so yeah, you think Crawler's just got to try, take the centre of the ring like he is here, just force the pace, force Grasso to make that mistake.
Oh, and much like that knockout against Tyrone King, he's been caught, Grasso, he's in real trouble, and it's all over! William Crawler does it again, inside a round! He is absolutely insatiable for an early stoppage, and he's done it here in Manchester, and Barry, that did not take long at all.
Again, it's actually, they both threw right hands. Grasso landed with a shot. I thought he caught Crawler with a really good shot, but Crawler's shot had more of an effect. But the finish was fantastic, so accurate. Grasso, okay, dropped his hands, gave him an opportunity, but every shot that Crawler threw there didn't miss, and every shot had weight in it. He turned his body to every punch there, William Crawler, and this kid's on a roll right now, really is.
A devastating finish from William Crawler. And once again, it's another quick night's work. And gets the congratulations from Tony Bellew as well. He is a star in the making, isn't he?
Well, he's a sellable product. Forget about his brother, who his brother is. He looks the part, he acts the part, and also producing the real knockouts here. Look at this for the shot. Look at this now. Every shot hits the target. He's not getting too close, allowing Grasso to hold. He's maintaining that distance so he can get every leverage into every punch. So they both throw right hands. Grasso doesn't land, actually. I thought he did land, but I thought they both threw shots, but I think it was just Crawler throws the shot, lands first. Grasso's under pressure there. He doesn't rush and panic here, Crawler. Maintains that distance so he can land with every shot. But there's like 6 or 7 left hook, right hooks here. And the referee, Michael Alexander there, perfect stoppage. Grasso just starting to fall over there, saves him from that indignity at least. And Crawler, sensational finish. And what a start to his career here now. 6-0 and 5 knockouts.
First right hand was absolutely crippling, and then Crolla jumped all over it. Then makes the jump to the top rope as well. Another quick night's work. He is the darling of Manchester right now. And could he be the man to sell out this arena going forward? The Co-op Live could well be William Crolla's backyard for years to come. Let's make things official. Here's David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Michael Alexander calls a halt to this contest. The official time of the stoppage, 44 seconds of round number 1, declaring a winner by TKO. He's still undefeated, William Crolla.
Now 6-0. And the man who admits to being quite a fan of Harry Potter, well, that was magic stuff in there tonight, Barry.
I got no answer for that, guys. You did me.
He really is. He's a massive fan of Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter. That is official.
I absolutely love that, because you just wouldn't associate that with a destroyer in the ring like he's been showing so far in his career. That's fantastic.
And Spera fought for Lorenzo Grasso as well. It was a bad KO he suffered last time out. He really fancied this tonight. I was actually in the car travelling to the arena with him and his team. They were hopeful tonight, but it just all went wrong. It was levels, wasn't it? And Crolla showed this was a real step up. And now he makes his way ringside to talk us through it himself. He's going down there with our own Jamie Ward, as is his brother as well, as they just sort themselves out. A few congratulatory handshakes and high fives with promoter and all. And now we can hear from William Crolla, who is with Jamie.
Well, Will, that's 6-0 now. That's 5 knockouts on the spin. Not only do you seem to be really enjoying life as a professional boxer, you're making it look pretty easy so far. How would you sum that up?
I'm a fucking problem, that's believe what I'm going to be. Like, listen, let me have these learning fights of rounds. I'll fight anyone in the 10 rounders. I'm a problem, and I feel like people are realising that now.
This was called a step up on paper. That did not last long. Talk us through the mindset. As soon as the opening bell rang there, straight on the front foot, big shots landing. What was the mindset tonight?
I've always said when someone comes to try and beat me, you'll see the best of me, and that's exactly what you saw there. He threw a jab, it was stopping, I was waiting to drop the right hand over, waited, he threw another, and then that's just a shot that hurt him, and then it exploded. So yeah, that's all she wrote.
And when you do put 5 knockouts together on the spin, people are going to start talking about the power. How much self-belief do you have in the power, and also the boxing that we're maybe yet to even see yet?
Anthony reminded me in the back then, don't go looking for it, don't go looking for it, and I weren't. And the power's not all I've got, I can box, I promise, but I'll go for that finish every time. I've said it before, I'm going for that every time, and yeah, I think it's pretty exciting to watch.
And this is your first fight officially as a Matchroom fighter as well. You've got the backing of this man, your brother Anthony Crolla, Eddie Hearn and Matchroom as well. Was there a certain expectation on your own shoulders heading into this to deliver on that belief?
Of course it wasn't the first step. Now I want to build myself, build a profile with Eddie, and bring titles back to Manchester, bring big nights back to Manchester, watch up a bill in Manchester, and with my next to me, I'm going to do it.
Well, let's bring in the brother, Anthony Crolla. Anthony, there's always going to be comparisons made between you two, but you've already admitted perhaps the punch power is with your younger brother. How would you sum that up?
Yeah, I can't argue with that. I think I'm better at him at a lot of things, but I certainly don't punch harder than him. No, listen, I'm super pleased with him tonight. I reminded him not to go looking for it. It would come naturally, and it did. I didn't expect it to go as early as what it did. But no, listen, it's a great night for William, a great night for the family. Thanks to everyone who's come out to support him. And his profile will only grow, and he'll go away, work hard in the gym, and he'll get those rounds. He's got quality sparring, and he just needs to keep improving.
Everyone will tell you the fights are won and lost in the gym. What do you make of his attitude, though, every day? You're the one who's closest to him.
He's got a fantastic attitude. He just wants to learn all the time, and, you know, he's really sorted himself out, and he's dedicated himself to the sport, and he really lives the life, and he's got to do that now. And the hopefully we can just keep him active and, like you say, get him some rounds and some top-quality sparring, and that'll keep bringing him on.
Let's bring in promoter Eddie Hearn. Eddie, you paid Will, I guess, what could be the ultimate compliment. You said, even if he wasn't Anthony Crolla's brother, I still would have signed him. Is it too early to start getting a little bit excited about Will Crolla?
No, I was excited a long time ago, really. I mean, look, he's gone from, you know, it's his official first Matchroom fight. He's just had a go at me. He said I should have been on later. And we've got to keep building his profile and make sure this whole city's behind him, because he's really exciting. it's like you can feel the energy inside him, you know, just waiting to explode in there. He's a serious puncher, and he's really explosive and really good to watch. The difficulty is going to be trying to get the rounds before we make that step in terms of the 8 and 10 rounders. So we need to find some real durable guys. But that was supposed to be a step up, and that was a massive statement tonight. You know, I think he's one of the most exciting prospects in the country. Obviously, he's got the story behind him with Ant. He's got the city behind him as well. He's got it right on a plate for him, right on a plate. Everything's going to get delivered for him, all the fights, all the opportunities. All he's got to do is work as hard as he can and be good enough. And if he does that, he's going to fill this place before too long.
For you, Will, when you look at, I guess, the balancing act of trying to impress and look good and getting the rounds in, the furthest you've gone in the last 5 now, 55 seconds of the second round, how do you gauge it? Are you happy just to go in and keep blowing these guys over for now?
Of course I am, but I get the rounds in the gym. I train hard and I give everything in the gym. Like I say, if I ever get beaten here, it's not because I didn't try or train hard, it's because I got beat by the better man. That's not happened yet, and I get the rounds in the gym, so I'm not worried. I'm going to keep blasting them out of there. Like I say, I want to build my own fan base in this city. I want to start topping bills in Manchester in the future.
A message for all those who came out tonight here.
Oh, massive thank you, man. I can't do it without you. And enjoy a great night of boxing.
And then finally, you're going to take him on the pads for a few rounds now? I think he needs it.
No, not a chance. He can go and do his own thing. I'm sure he'll catch up. There's a lot of friends and family who've come to watch him. So again, thanks to all them. And yeah, no, it's a great night at this great new venue.
Carrying on the family tradition in this great fighting city, Will Crawler, 6-0, 5 knockouts on the spin. Congratulations, Stu, and well done.
We've just got to keep building.
Three fights down, 1 to go on before the bell. And if we carry on with action like that, we are in for a treat here at the Co-op Live. A reminder of what's to come from 7 p.m. We kick off with Janae Bostan against Marco Someriva. Then it's Pat McCormack against William Andres Herrera. There's the rematch with Real Needle as James Flint and Campbell Hatton run it back. It's Michael Gomez Jr. looking to follow in his father's footsteps when he takes on Reese Bellotti. And our main event is an absolute cracker. Jack Catterall and Regis Prograis stand on business. For Prograis, well, he's been there and he's seen it all as a 2-time world champion, but he still enjoys putting in the hard miles and has his sights set on another shot at a world title.
When you know you're working, where you wake up with the sun, and the sun popping over the mountains, you know you're getting up, right? Getting this work done. I'm at a point in my life right now where I don't have to do it no more. I could just quit, bro. I can go live on the beach or something in Brazil if I want, but it's like I feel like if I do that, like what I'm gonna do in my life, like I really love this. I really love boxing. I really love to do it. I really love the grinding. You know, it's hard every day. Working actually is harder than when I started. Way harder right now. Older and working harder. I don't know how that work out, but I feel like I'm chasing my dreams. I'm chasing greatness. I'm chasing, you know what I'm saying? I just want like the immortality.
Champ was working his ass off, and he said he's going to be 2-time champ. He was 2-time champ. Now he wants to be 3-time champion. Or Jackie Catterall in the way. So we will have to go to Manchester. And the champ going to be himself and have a good time in the ring and do his thing like he's done so many times.
It's one step closer to becoming a 3-time champion. You know, that's something I really, really want. You know, it's something that, for me, I have Muhammad Ali right here. That's something he did. He became a 3-time champion. That's something that I really want. And it's something that, you know, I know Jack wants to be a world champion also, you know, but for me, I did it twice already. And, you know, I'm going to do it again.
The loss with Haney back in December. Now, what do you think of that? Like, people writing you off? Do you think people should?
I don't care. I mean, listen, it's only opinions. You definitely never want to make excuses for a fight, you know, but I feel like the thing that I didn't do is just not being myself. That's the main thing, just not being me, not fighting like who I am, you know, and people tell me that all the time, man, be you, be you, be you. Being me got me to become, you know, got me out of the mud from where I come from. Then being me got me to become a world champion. Being me got me to become a 2-time world champion. My last camp, you know, I wasn't as focused as I am right now. Just coming out here, I came out here before and I trained and I just saw the work, man. Like everybody's like trying to help me and stuff like that. With basically like my fundamentals. And I feel like I'm just way more focused right now. And like my wife and kids, they out in Brazil right now, so I really have no distractions at all right now. Everybody in the gym coming together to like help me out and make me better.
The champ is in business.
I think this is a huge fight, you know, for me and, you know, for Jack. It's a big risk, but it's a big reward at the end of the day. So that's what they gave me. Cool, I'll take it.
Regis Prograis looking to come back, Barry, from that defeat against Devin Haney last time out. It was a devastating defeat. It was a dominant defeat. Rumours of his decline, though, exaggerated?
Well, there was 2 poor performances on the trot. I think that's why. One of them against Devin Haney, but Devin Haney's fantastic. But the one Zarilla before that wasn't a great performance where he had to chase an opponent again. In Jack Catterall, you've got another guy who you think he's going to have to chase for the 3rd fight on the trot, which makes it difficult to think how he's going to be able to change the pattern of the last 2. So he's up against it. But if you hold your feet for a second against Regis Prograis, you can be in trouble. The man can bang, and that right hand and that left cross is a real weapon.
He's relaxed. He's always been a character. In the build-up to this fight, at the press conference, he also called out Catterall's manager, Sam Jones. And here's what happened at that press conference.
A long time ago, Sam Jones, his manager, where you at, Sam? Sam actually said, I will beat Jack's ass. A long time ago, right? And I got proof right now. If y'all want to hear it, I got proof. He said flatten him.
Right hand to God, never said that. Listen, you've been hitting the head too much by Devin Haney, my friend.
Watch this, watch this. Listen, everybody, be quiet, be quiet.
I like Jack, by the way. I know him very well, but I do think you flatten him. You understand what I mean? Because you're a different guy to Josh Taylor. Jack wants to fight. I think your temperament was like,
I know when that was. I know when that was.
Want to do it again? Want to do it? Wait, hold on.
We just need to hear it one more time.
I know when that was.
Hold on.
I know when that was. Regis, I've got some messages of you, so just think very carefully before you play that next one.
I know him very well, but I do think... I like Jack, by the way. I know him very well, but I do think you flatten him.
This is before I knew Jack. This is before I knew Jack. I'd never met Jack before.
Wants to fight you, but
You never met Jack?
I'd never met Jack. I've only known him 2 years.
All right. Well, why you... Exactly.
Regis.
Well, I thought Sam batted that one off as well as I did Tony Bellew trying to interrupt me earlier. But he's got under Sam's skin, which is difficult to do. What do you make of that? How do you think that will affect the Catterall camp coming into this?
I don't think it. I think that might be something they'll talk about after the fight for sure. Especially if the fight don't go the way that they wanted to. But I don't think that'll affect Jack now. I don't think he'd be worried about what Sam Jones' issue with Regis Prograis, whether he thinks he can win or not. Because even though he's his manager and he's doing a good job for him, which he has done, to be honest, it's about your training team. So he's not in the corner with you. That would be an issue if the trainer said that, because that's the guy who you've got to trust giving you instructions to go out there and fight. So that would be an issue, but if that's not, so I think that'll be an issue after the fight. I do think they might have to have a chat about that. That's their business, but it won't affect his mindset about how he approaches this fight. Jack Catterall right now is on a crest of a wave. You know, that the redemption fight with Taylor, which he needed, to get over the line to show that I won the first, I won the second. And Taylor, what a great fighter he's been for the UK. But now he's got that one over the line, and obviously, and then he had the other fight, of course, against Linares. But really, it was that Taylor fight that was the main fight for him. He's full of confidence. He believes he's going to be a world champion. He knows it, he is now. So he needs to get this fight over the line against an aging Prograis, but still a dangerous Regis Prograis. And then he can get that world title shot, and hopefully that world title that let's be honest, he deserves, because he should be a unified champion, an undisputed champion, and that will probably never happen for him again. So you've got a guy here who still has a chip on his shoulder and a point to prove.
Could have waited for that world title shot. They've decided to take this, and it would be a notable name to have on the record. Prograis himself said, you've got no one on your record. This would be an opportunity to do that tonight against Prograis.
Well, you're saying Catterall's got nothing on his record.
Prograis said that Catterall didn't have any names on his record, bar Josh Taylor.
Oh, okay, well, I mean, I can understand what he's saying. I can understand what he's saying, because he has a better resume at this weight, certainly. And he does have a better resume. But he still beat Taylor. He still beat the good Taylor. So he's got a good... He's the in-fall fighter, let's not forget that, Catterall. But Prograis is dangerous, but I still think Catterall's style is all wrong for Regis Prograis, certainly at this point of his career.
Well, big night for Jack Catterall. Big night also for another famous son of a famous fighter in this city. Campbell Hatton gets his rematch against James Flint tonight. He's looked all business in the build-up. He's looked slightly agitated in the build-up. Is this win or bust for Campbell Hatton tonight?
I mean, you shouldn't say that at this point of his career, but because of the profile he's had, the turn professional, and the level we're at here, which is area level, you tend to think, especially from a promoter's point of view, where would they want to take him?
And there is Ricky, of course. He made the Manchester Arena just a few miles from here his own. This a first visit to this Co-op Live, and an opportunity for Campbell to make this arena his own. As William Croller's just shown, he can lay down a marker here tonight, Campbell.
He can, but he's got a hard night here. Like the Flint fight was very hard in the first fight. It wasn't a whitewash, but there was a clear winner, and it was a competitive fight. But can he make the adjustments? And I'm not quite sure that he can, to be honest. I think Flint is the guy with more to his game. So Hatton's got to be the aggressor, but he hasn't got that raw power and strength that his dad has.
And how does he deal with that pressure? Because there's so much pressure, especially from this crowd.
See, people only see what he's been afforded opportunities on big stages and bigger money than other fighters would get in his position. But the pressure of having your dad's name over, that cloud of the Hatton name over you, it's a horrible place to be. So that kid's they've done tremendous pressure since he's first turned professional. But now he has that loss under his record that adds to that. But I think he's got loads of resolve, Campbell Hatton. I think he has. I just think this might be the wrong style for him against Flint. But for us fans, it's a really good fight to watch.
Well, it should be a great one to watch. Campbell Hatton, James Flint a little bit later. Regis Prograis against Jack Catterall is the main event. But now it's time for our final fight here on Before the Bell. So it's over again to David Diamante.
Manchester, England, the action continues with a 6-round middleweight contest. Now entering the arena, please welcome Mateusz Pawlowski.
Mateusz Pawlowski, the Polish fighter, not a lot known about him. It should be a straightforward one for Steve Clark, but you never know what you're going to get into against a tough, hard-hitting Pole. 1 KO on his record, and that was just a couple of months ago, inside a round. We wait to see what we'll get. It could be surprising, though.
And now entering the arena, Steve Clark.
Hold your head up high for tonight and every night. You're a superstar, and don't you be afraid. Think of all the friends you made. Like any
Steve Clark, another of the new generation of Liverpudlian fighters looking to make the big stage their own. Product of the Rotunda Gym. Said he fulfilled a dream when he fought at the Manchester Arena. Well, now he gets to live another dream in this brand new arena. He fights on its opening night. And it's another step up the levels for Steve Clark. He should put away the pole, but funnier things have happened.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Manchester, England, live on DAZN, we are set to go with our next bout of the evening, and it's all being brought to you courtesy of Mr. Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing. We're sponsored tonight by Betfred, Stagefront, Everlast, Forged Irish Stout, Apu.com, Riyadh Season, and Drip. Introducing your third man in the ring at the sound of the bell, from Fleetwood, A-star referee, Mr. Steve Gray. Now, ladies and gentlemen, 6 rounds of boxing scheduled in the middleweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, he wears black and yellow. He's scaled 11 stone, 5 pounds, 12 ounces. His professional record, 2 victories, 1 defeat, with 1 win coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Krakow, Poland, Mateusz Pawlowski. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, he wears the black with the blue trim. He scaled 11 stone, 7 pounds, 6 ounces. Professional record, thus far perfect, 4 fights, 4 victories, with 1 win coming by way of knockout. He fights out of Liverpool, Steve Clark.
Stay. Okay, guys, if I call break, you take 1 step back. Don't throw punches around the back of the head. Protect yourselves at all times. Stretch them up. Good luck.
The 5th professional outing for Steve Clark against the little-known Pole, but they build them tough in Krakow.
Seconds out.
He's at the epitome of a mixed bag of results coming into this, so we don't really know what we're going to get, Barry, but we know what we need to see from Steve Clark.
Yeah, well, Clark's a really good boxer, keeps his shape really, really well, and works behind that jab, and for a boxer of his range, that's very, very important. Well, still an amateur, of course, so you're expecting a good structure from him. And that's it, really. They're keeping the range here, just keep everything nice and long. And force his opponent onto the shots.
Just the 1 stoppage in his 4 professional fights so far, and that came on debut. Already the Pole showing he can mix it up, but he looks like he's going to walk on to a few as well.
Yeah, and it's important here for Clark just not to get too close when he throws the shots, even though you want to maintain that pressure. Move the feet behind the shots.
Always tough stepping in there after a devastating first-round KO. The crowd are pumped after that one, and I have to say it's already a healthy crowd in here, considering the main card is still just about half an hour away.
That's good jab, a lovely jab there from Clark.
And as we saw earlier, Pawlowski rather walks onto a shot with no real feeling for what's coming. Clark whips that left hand round as well. Already starting to get the sense that he can pick the Pole off here. Good work to the body, Barry.
Yeah, he just rolled back. He should have rolled back out though and just got that long right hand back into play. Boxing well here at the minute. Nice and relaxed.
Nice sense of purpose about Clark's work as he stalks down Pawlowski.
That's good. Because he's not getting that front foot too close. Just not allowing Pawlowski any room to hold or even fire back. When he gets this close like this, it allows him a chance to just tie him up a little bit.
Grazing right hook from Clark was taken well by Pawlowski. You can see just reddening up on the rib cage there as well. Clark finding the target.
That's the jab there. That's it. Nice and low. You need to jab a little bit lower, and then use that because your legs are bent down. You can push up that back foot and really extend with that right hand over the top.
And that's where he gets that right hand in as well.
That's a good shot. That's a nice sharp first round here for Clark.
Shots from a range of angles as well from Clark, going through the repertoire in the opening 3 minutes. Just looking that class above so far.
$498, $499, $500.
Let's go heavy. Looking strong, Nick.
Last night, Red One was abducted. You're gonna help us find him.
Santa Claus. You can't trust this guy. He's on the list. He's a naughty lister. Naughty lister?
You got it, kid.
Whoever took Nick, they're extremely dangerous. We got snowmen!
That was so disturbing.
Red One in cinemas November 6.
Instruction taken from two members of the famous Smith family in there. Swifty Steve
10
Smith,
seconds, corners.
his trainer Paul Smith also in there. Barry, you couldn't get better advice than that, could you?
No, you couldn't. No, they've both been to they've both boxed for world titles. Of course, they're the brothers. Unfortunately, the two brothers who didn't get over the line, but they both boxed for world titles and fought good fighters in doing so.
And looking to guide Steve Clark to a potential world title shot somewhere along the line, but not a long way down the line, as he's had to eat a couple of jabs in the first few moments of this round as the Polish fighter Pawlowski comes out firing.
It's just about a little bit more rotation with that right hand for Clark. He's in the position to land the shot, but if he turns a little bit more from the hips and the shoulders and pushes off that back leg, that makes that right hand much more powerful.
Certainly more of a snap to his shots. Pawlowski can't find any route in behind that jab. He's kept him at arm's length at all stages, Steve Clark.
That's a good shot.
Comes through with that straight right hand as well. He's teeing these up brilliantly well.
But again, he has to remember, though, don't neglect that jab. That's got to be a constant weapon. That'll set up the attacks. That'll keep Pawlowski, just second guessing. Keep him occupied with that while you're setting up a bigger attack.
So tempting, though, with Pawlowski keeping the guard down and Clark looking to attack with purpose. Shouts of keep touching him up from Paul Smith. You can hear audibly from ringside.
Now the right hand over the top there for Clark was needed. He threw the left jab to the body, set it up nicely.
The gum shield has just gone there from Pawlowski. I think he'll be happier for the braver at this stage.
Pawlowski, he's got a little bit of a Terry Jones look about him.
Hasn't quite worked out, Steve Clark, yet, has he? He's certainly got a dishevelled look. Clark trying to go through the gears. Taking a couple as he comes in, but he's trying to find that angle for attack, isn't he?
Yeah, and also there's nothing on the shots that are coming back, so the punches that he are taking are just really glancing blows. So he can afford to be a little bit more adventurous, I think, now, Clark.
Yeah, first few seconds of the round, he seemed to eat those 3 or 4 jabs at Pawlowski through, and there was no trouble at all.
Hello, darlings. Aunt Helga. Futuristic scooters, old school website. Relax, web upgrades, I own them. Better design, e-commerce and smart AI. Now you're fit for the future. I scoot off now. Your digital partner, Ionos.
Steve Clark looking comfortable here against Maciej Pawlowski. Through 2 rounds, the cleaner, crisper of the work has certainly come from the Liverpudlian.
10 seconds, corners. Seconds out.
Into the third, scheduled to go 8 here at the Co-op Live, Manchester's newest arena, staging boxing for the first time tonight.
Look at the set his stallos here. Clark, a little bit more aggressive, hold his feet a bit more. That's good work.
That right over the top again, finding its mark. And I think now he knows that he's not going to be troubled too much by what the pole's throwing. He can afford to open up.
Just trying to get a little bit more comfortable. When you're fighting someone who's not a massive puncher, or not a puncher at all, then maybe you can afford to just practice that slip inside the shots rather than step back and evade everything. Just feel comfortable there to throw with shots with conviction, but slip inside and stay in the pocket a little bit more.
He looks like he's going to take a bit of chopping down, though, Pawlowski, that's for sure. Clark's had to go the distance in his last 3 fights. But unusual, of course, to see too many knockouts early in someone's career.
Yeah, good shot.
Nice work from Clark.
Again, don't leave it too long before you let the hands go again, though, here for Clark.
Just sat back and admired it a little bit there. Left hand to the body, and then the right hand upstairs as Pawlowski starts to wilt a little bit. Didn't see that left hand coming either.
You got to keep moving that head, though, Clark. That's the right idea, though. Just not to back away too much. But keep bending those legs, keep moving that head, keep that lateral movement, upper body movement. As you sat in the pocket. That's a good shot.
I suppose the problem when the shots aren't causing any problem, there's less of a need to move that head. You can just walk through them, and you don't want to take too many like that, do you, Barry?
No, but also when you're moving the head, it puts you on a different, like you're going to move the body a little bit more, and it'll put you on an angle for a different, to get a bit of leverage into your own shots.
Been a little bit straight on so far, Steve Clark. Now tries to vary it up. That right hook came in and scored well, then tries a left uppercut as well, trying to go through the repertoire now.
Yeah, and that lead left uppercut is a good idea for him, but he's leaning back a bit when he throws. He should be bringing that right shoulder a little bit over your left knee a little bit more to get the angle, the better angle for the attack.
There's been good stuff in this round from Steve Clark. Starting to show what he's got in the locker. And Matas Pawlowski starting to be worn down here. Another solid round for the Liverpudlian.
Yeah, no, good round, wasn't it? There, see there, nice little 1-2 over the top there for Clark. Nice clean shot rolling underneath there. Maybe come back with that right hand would have been more effective for him.
Janae Bostan there, getting the hands wrapped. He will open up the main card tonight against the Argentinian Marco Somareva. We are live on DAZN at 7 p.m. here from the Co-op Live in Manchester. And it's the lad from Rotherham who will take to the ring first.
Seconds out. Round 4.
So fourth round here for Steve Clark, who started to show his quality in that third round. Don't think Pawlowski is going to offer too much back. So what is Clark's game plan now? He can pretty much tee off on him for the next few rounds. Can he look to make the stoppage or just show his class in there?
Yeah, but you got to be careful he doesn't walk on the shots and, doesn't want to make any silly mistakes. And it's about keeping your composure, but he can be more forceful, I feel. And maybe just doubling that jab up, just shorten the distance, just might help. But again, if you want to get a push on the right hand, you've got to really push off that back foot and push right through the body with the punch.
Just trying to close the distance a bit more in that corner. Wraps another stiff shot to the body. Again, you can always hear what Paul Smith's urging from ringside. That time it was keep the feint going.
That's good from Clark. They got out that little clinch quite effectively to work.
And sprung straight to it.
Again, though, as Paul Smith was asking for, that nice little feint before he let his hands go there for Clark.
A little bit easier to hear the instructions at this stage of the night, but I get the feeling by the time those main event walks come, Barry, this place is going to be like a bear pit.
Yeah, slowly filling up, isn't it? It looks like a intimidating, if it is full, quite an intimidating venue to be at.
Certainly feels like the kind of arena that can create a big atmosphere. And great to have a domestic fight card to get excited about. We've had to wait a while, nothing against the cards in Riyadh. They've been spectacular, of course. But you cannot beat a British fight night. Clark working in behind that jab. Was a great right hand there, Barry.
Yeah, he just shortened it up a little bit, didn't he? Threw it, wasn't over the top like he has been doing. It was right down the middle, that right hand.
Scored a few times with that shot now, as Pavlovsky hasn't seen it coming.
I'd like to see him double it up. If he lands it, just try and throw it again. Same angle, same line.
All part of the learning curve for Steve Clark.
On the last couple of rounds, he tried to be a little bit more assertive, hasn't he, with this work, Clark? Not backing away so much.
I don't think Pavlovsky's going to go anywhere anytime soon. He looks the durable type, that's for sure. Might have to take a bit more punishment through this one as we reach the halfway stage. A little bit of damage around the left eye from Clark, and that's the shot which probably caused it.
Yeah, I don't think it's too much to worry about, just a little bit of a grazing maybe, but he's been relatively dominant, hasn't he, here, Clark? Or massively dominant, controlling the pace. He's increased it in the last couple of rounds, he's been more effective and a little bit more weight in his punches. That's been a good sign, and he's trying to adapt and be a little bit more forceful.
When he does land the pole, though, it looks like he's got quite heavy hands. I suppose that would suggest as much in that he's one win as a first-round KO.
A little bit more water, mate, Kate.
Yeah, I just think he's too light on his toes here. Pavlovsky to really cause Clark any trouble. I think he's got to sit down a bit more on his shot. So as long as Clark is sensible, I think he can keep increasing the pace, increasing the pressure.
Round 5.
And at this stage, with these kind of opponents, they wouldn't have had a lot of tape to work on of Pavlovsky, would they, the Smith brothers?
No, but that's not always a bad thing. I think people are just massively incensed now about I have to get a tape, I have to get a vid. If you've been a top-class amateur, as Clark has, you've never seen your opponents before. You have to learn to adapt, and I think that's not a bad thing. It makes you opens your brain and allows you to think on your feet in a fight when you have to. So I think not knowing about who your opponent is not always the end of the world. You get a round to have a look at what he does, and then you have to think for yourself. And the corner have to think and adapt, and it makes you all better at your job, ultimately.
Gum shield out again. This time it's Steve Clark. And as you say, it's more about what Clark is learning in there than about what he can learn from his opponent, isn't it?
Yes, of course, yeah, but you've got to start trying to read things and time things, and if you can do that, and when you don't know what you're facing, you haven't been training to a certain style, just training yourself, working on your strengths and weaknesses, then you have to think on your feet when you're in the fight, so that helps you see things clearly, and that will help you down the line against fighters who you are watching, but you have to adapt because they don't always do what you see on tape.
The pole in fast retreat on most of these exchanges. Again, though, he's got that guard down. He's inviting Clark in, isn't he? But Clark not taking the bait, lands with a right hand there.
Yeah, but he's got his hands down, out the distance. So once Clark moves forward, he'll take a step back, or the hands go up automatically. So he's just trying to force Clark to make a mistake punch before he's ready.
Clark just still trying to judge that distance perfectly as he's just out of range a couple of times on that jab.
Nice good shot there from Clark. Again, just get a little bit more turn on the shot. bit more torque on the punches. Dramatically has more of an effect. Takes a right hand of his own there, though, Clark.
As you mentioned, he's starting to dip the knees a little bit more when he gets in close. Oh, he took her right there. That snapped the head back. Just a moment of concern. Has got the air of a man, Pawlowski, who can hit hard. Took that well, though, Clark. Doesn't seem to have bothered him too much.
No, I don't think it was a heavy shot. He just got caught. He jumped into the attack, didn't he, there? He just got caught unawares there, Clark. Just going to keep that brain switched on if he can. Good body shot.
And another good counter there from Clark. Few uneasy moments for the Liverpool fighter, but on the whole, once again, the better work has come from the man in the blue and black. The Everton fan, who will no doubt have one eye on his side in action at the moment.
That's a good right hand he got caught with just before the second one. He just jumps into the attack here. Pawlowski, there's a lovely little shot there, just knocking the head back at Clark, but I don't think there was too much on it, just caught unawares. Just a little reminder, though, even though nothing's been coming back really, just to keep that concentration at all times and keep increasing that pressure. You've got to get back to that. That's important there for Clark.
Probably a good thing that he took that shot as well. If that is the best that Pawlowski has to offer, he knows that he can come through it. I think we expected this to be a tricky assignment, and that's exactly how it's proved to be.
Seconds out for the 6th and final round.
Well, coming through it, Steve Clark. One more round to negotiate. The final round here on Before the Bell. Ahead of the main action at 7. Jack Catterall, Regis Prograis are ready to stand on business. But we've got business to conclude here. And Clark looking to see it out. Trying to let the hands go at the start of this 6th round.
That's a nice, lovely 1-2 there from Clark. It's just about not making any mistakes here now for Clark. Now you want to try and increase the pressure if you can. Try and finish on a high. But most importantly, don't lose your shape. Don't get rattled now and start taking silly shots. Just everything behind the jab. Nice long 1-2s. Keep it at range. Keep it at distance. Just try keep pushing Pawlowski back.
Pawlowski's been game, that's for sure, and he's had a couple of good moments in this. And the kind of moments, I suppose, a fighter like himself, he'll be looking to get back on these kind of cards to be that next fighter for one of these other fighters coming up through the matchroom ranks or any of the domestic ranks.
Yeah, you know, he's light on his feet. He's flighty. He takes the sting out the shot, so he's going to be an awkward man to fight. But you know, there are bigger punches in the division, and if you step up the levels, and more experienced fighters will close the gap more effectively. But again, it's all about the learning stages here for Stephen Clark.
Lovely jab from Clark. Moving that head a little bit more, dipping under the shots and working the angles. Happy to come in on the exchange as well. Seeing everything that Pawlowski is throwing earlier now. Just a little bit ragged as we enter the final minute. Clark in control, looking to close the show.
Yeah, but he lands there because he threw a feint before he threw. That's like that there. See that little feint just affects your opponent's rhythm a little bit. Then you can throw off it.
And that's what they've wanted. That's what his corner have got. And now he's got his man in a bit of distress up against the ropes. But Pawlowski manages to come out of that wave of attack. Crowd desperate to see him come forward, but Pawlowski is game.
Oh, it's lovely from Pawlowski there. The little bounce in and out with the feet, and a nice sharp 1-2. Best bit of work for him, I thought.
He's had his moments, the Pole. Wasn't much to go on, but what he's provided over these 6 rounds has been good. It's not going to be good enough against Steve Clark. Oh, got through with a right hand there, though, and then it turns into a bit of a firefight for the last few seconds. Well, Clark had to take a couple there. He's earned the respect from the pole. The pole's earned respect from the Swift camp in the corner. Tough night's work that for Steve Clark in the end, Barry.
Yeah, no, I thought he boxed well, and for most of the fight, you know, he had it all under control. It was just fleeting moments now and again when he got caught with a few shots, but not really. I thought the only real time he struggled a little bit was that last little 20 seconds where I thought he got caught with, especially the last punch of the round. I thought that was a really good shot that maybe just rocked him just a little bit. But apart from that, you know, it was everything in the favour of Stephen Clark. They were asking for more work off him, of course, at times, but he's not a massive puncher. He's maybe never going to be that. So you've got to work to your strengths. You just got to learn about just turning a bit more into a few of the shots. And listen, these rounds are invaluable as you go through. You get to learn about yourself, the corner, you know, back in camp. Then you can say what you did right, what you did wrong, and most importantly, he gets the win with no dramas, no trouble, no injuries.
Well, let's check if he has got that win. It's over to David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds here at the Co-op Live in Manchester, we go to referee Steve Gray's scorecard. It reads 60-54 for your winner. He's still undefeated, Steve Clark.
So Steve Clark moves to 5-0. Tough, he had to grit it out, but in the end, that was pretty dominant all the way, Barry.
Yeah, I think he was. No, he started off pretty sharp, and the jab was working well for him. I think all in all, I think that's a good night's work.
I like the Co-op Live looking resplendent in the Manchester evening, and this is what we've got coming up next from 7. It starts with Junaid Bostan against Marco Sumareva. Pat McCormack takes on William Andres Herrera. James Flint and Campbell Haddon get it on again in an eagerly awaited rematch. The British and Commonwealth super featherweight titles are on the line when Reece Bellotti faces Michael Gomez Jr. And then the main event, the WBO International Super Lightweight title up for grabs as 2 of the world's best in that category face off. Jack Catterall against Regis Prograis, and Barry, one final thought ahead of what should be a cracking main event.
Yeah, this is the last fight you feel for either one. No, I think Prograis needs this win to put his name back in the list of those top super welters, super lightweight. Sorry, and for Catterall, this is the last fight before he gets that world title shot, which he really deserves.
He should be a world champion. It's one more step tonight. Cannot afford any slip-ups, Catterall, can he?
No, he can't. He's in form, so you've got to believe yourself. When you're an in-form fighter, you don't see these fights as risks. You just see them as rewards and to show people how good you are. But it is a risky fight. You know, there's a potential of Prograis. If he can roll back the clock just a little bit, and if Catterall does hold his feet a little bit more because he does believe in his power, then it's a hard night's work. But if he uses his footwork, his intelligence and his speed, then he can make this not an easy night, but a comfortable night.
Easy, comfortable, it should be a great night. Jack Catterall against Regis Prograis tops the bill. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to stand on business.
When I beat Regis Prograis, I don't know what options are left. He's had his time in the sun, 2-time world champion. It's a difficult roll back.
I'm the name in this fight, not him. This is my fight. We'll see how perfect my style is for him. We'll see.
This turns into a dogfight. I'm there for it, and I'm ready for that.
Well, you want a dogfight? I'll show him a dogfight.
No matter what, I'm ready to dig deep, go to the trenches, but I'm confident I'll get my hand raised.
You think you'll pick me apart? I look forward to you seeing you try. Devastating. That's what this fight gonna be. Devastating.
I expect this to be a tough fight, but I expect a victory.